What is up, everyone? It is that time again. Grab you something to drink, get you some popcorn, get you a pen and pad, grab our uncle or auntie. Hi, Houston. Hi, guys. Come on in. We are about to start. Just going to be waiting on our guest of honor for the day to arrive. So, yes, grab you a beverage, something to snack on. Have any questions ready? We're going to try a Q&A today. It's not going to be scripted or anything. Just, give the audience something to interact with. Cheers, darling. Hope everyone had a lovely weekend. Hello, come on in. Just still waiting on our guest. So, get comfy, get your favorite little blanket to snuggle with. Hope everybody's not in some heat. I think everybody's getting some relief from some rain finally. I know we have. It's been much needed. Oklahoma's finally getting some rain. Okay, here she is. Let's see if we can do this. Come on, Auntie, you got this.
Hello.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Good.
All right. Well, we're just going to go ahead and do my little intro, and then we'll do introductions, and we'll jump right into it.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, guys. Welcome to another rendition of Skoden Talks with the Homies. I am your host, Sage Chanel. Skoden Talks is brought to you by IP3, Indigenous Peoples Power Project. IP3 is an organization that provides nonviolent direction action training, campaign strategy, and community organizing tools to support Indigenous communities taking action in defense of their homelands. IP3 is currently taking community training requests and will be offering our annual action camp training for Indigenous organizers and activists later this year. For more information, contact info@ip3action.org. All right, darlings. Well, like I said, I am Sage Chanel, and I'm going to go ahead and let our guest introduce herself. Tell us where you're from and what tribes are you from?
Okay, awesome. So my name is Courtney Peyketewa, and I am a Creek, Euchee, Zuni, and Seminole, proudly enrolled in our Seminole Nation of Oklahoma tribe. And I would say, let's see, what else did you ask me? Sorry.
Just where you're from.
Oh, where I'm from. Okay, so I am from Kellyville, Oklahoma. That is my hometown. It's kind of a really small community up north, kind of east and north, like around Tulsa area. And I moved to Oklahoma City, Edmond area. So I currently reside in Edmond, Oklahoma with my family.
Oh, my light went out. Oh, we're having technical difficulties already, honey.
I
All right. Well, would you like to tell us a little bit more about your background also?
Yes, like I said, I'm living in Oklahoma City, and I am actually a member of the Indigenous Milk Medicine Collective, um, as part of my just like my interest that I am involved in, and I currently work at Rose State College as the coordinator for diversity and outreach, and so I'm working in the field of higher education.
Yay, awesome. So with all of that, what are you most passionate about?
So I'm very passionate about a few things. So one, I am a mother and I love my little darlings. I have two girls. I have Camille, who is my newest baby, and she's about to be 2 in October, and I'm just not ready, you know? Um, and then I have a 7-year-old who will be 8 in November. So um, my biggest full-time job is being mama, aside from everything else that I do, and I do a million things. But I'm really passionate about being a mom, raising my girls, just there for my family, being present. But I'm really passionate about breastfeeding and yeah, being able to be a part of a collective that embodies that and shares the same interest level. And so, yeah, I would say that. And I would also say that I'm very passionate about helping people and education. And so that's kind of where um, my professional background is coming from. But all of these things tied in together just make me, I guess what Jaysha would say, a fierce mama.
Yes, we love the fierce moms. And two is like, to me, everybody says it's terrible twos, but to me, they're like terrific twos because they're such a sponge. And it's just like, you just want to teach them everything and every word and good or bad. But they're just, to me, it's a wonderful time to be
Yes.
two. So, but congratulations on that. How have you been involved in the higher education?
Okay, so I would say that so I started my journey at the University of Central Oklahoma, which is UCO in Edmond, and I started there as an undergrad in 2009, and I was working on my education degree. And so while I was there, I was very, very involved in many organizations on campus, and so I think that's really where I started to derive some of that, like my drive today was getting plugged in and getting involved and creating action on campus. And so I was involved in many, many things, and especially within the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, where I was really involved with Native American Student Association. And so while I was there, I went on to graduate with my bachelor's of science in education and physical education. I wanted to be a teacher and go out and teach these little sponges, these little kids, to have fun while having a physically active lifestyle. And I really was passionate about that um, for a bit, and then I ended up finding out that I was having Carmen, which is my oldest daughter. So later on that year, so I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is fun. We're gonna navigate this journey, because I graduated and like I'm walking across the stage and then literally finding out that like I'm having a baby.
Yeah.
So I took time off, like I hit pause because I really wanted to be present for the baby. and just be with baby first year. And so that also we'll talk about later stems like from my passion about being breastfeeding and that. And so while I took a break, I decided I wanted to go back to school because I was just having an itch for like wanting to just be so involved again and be around people and how could I help people, you know? And so I went and talked to my advisors and they were like, you were very involved. You should totally do this for like your career. And I was like, there's a career in this? I didn't know. And so that's what landed me back into higher education. So I went on and earned a master's of adult higher education from UCO. I went back to my alma mater and I graduated with that degree. And so while I was there, I worked in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. And so pretty much what that entailed, I was helping with programming, coordinating events, anything that had to do with diversity, equity, inclusion, those kinds of things. But I was also focused on Native American graduation retention rates. And so part of my role was to help with the building the Native American Success Initiative there at UCO. And it's still a program now to this day. So when I came, we started it up as a pilot program and they've been receiving results. And so I'm really excited to see something that I started with as a seed idea and then to get it pushed forward. And so that's really awesome. So I've kind of been in higher ed, like I said, it's just since I've been a student forever, it seems like, but then for real, I would say higher ed work 2017. So it's been some years. And so after I worked in the ODI, I ended up transitioning into student success and student advocacy because, again, I like that kind of work and creating action and being helpful to people. And so in my role there, I was a learner concierge where I was helping online learners. So our 100% online student population, they really didn't have that hands-on help. And so that's where I was there to help cater to those unique learner needs and be an advocate and a voice for them. And so, again, it's all kind of tied in, where I really like to, what I really like to do. Again, it's all about helping people. And so I did that for a while, but then an awesome opportunity came up at Rose State College, and that's where I'm currently now, where my job is now. And so I really was wanting to get back to diversity and equity and inclusion work. And so when that offer came up and I took it, and I just been happy ever since. And so so these days I am a coordinator of diversity and outreach. And so basically in my job, I do diversity programming.
Can you share more about the programming that your university offers for your Native students in particular there at Rose State?
For sure. Okay, so we are at Rose State is a community college, and so we are located in Midwest City, Oklahoma, which is literally right in the Oklahoma City area. We're one of the best, I have to say that because we are, but colleges around, and we offer many programs. We also, what's really unique about this institution is that we offer that 4-year experience, but that's condensed down into 2-year experience of that college life, because we actually are one of the only institutions to community colleges to have on-campus housing, and so students are able to get a feel of that, join organizations, even though it's a community college. And so I work in the diversity center on campus, and so within my area, we house the campus food pantry, because a lot of students, especially college students, face food insecurity, and so we run the food bank there, or food pantry there on campus, and that's within partnership with the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma, and then also have the community clothing closet, and so anybody can donate to it, and we just let students, faculty, staff just go in there, shop however they want to shop. If they're getting, they want to change up their wardrobe or We also have students who are trying to like try things on and just want to get a different feel and just go ahead, you know. And so a lot of our clothing there is for professional wear because we want to provide students and faculty and staff with like professional wear so that way they could be prepared for interviews and, you know, and just be out in the professional world. But specifically speaking about Native American students on campus, we have a Native American or we have an American Indian Association club on campus. And so that is a really, really awesome group that I'm also an advisor for. And so they do a lot of things. They have a lot of things planned for this upcoming year. And I'm just like, ooh, I'm going to have to like catch up, you know? So they do a lot of things. So I think that some of the things that the campus provides is that intentional space for students to belong. And those students are all about recruiting others who want to join the organization. They're always looking for more Native students to join them, regardless of where they are in their program. Like I said, they do events. But one of the other things we do, we also have a Native American Studies program on campus. And so you can actually go to school and get an associate's degree within that area as well. And so other things that we're doing to support Native students, we host a summer camp through a Oklahoma State Department of Education grant. It's called Oklahoma Future Native Leaders. And so I was really excited to be a part of that program this summer, where we hosted a summer camp on campus where Native students from like different parts of Oklahoma got to come and experience what it was like to live on campus for 3 to 4 days. We like jam-packed their schedule with academic opportunities and to learn, but also art opportunities so they can get engaged. But it was also a cultural art. So we had Native artists come in. Everything we did was Native, like supporting. So like from the stickers that we ordered from Adam Young Bear, like his Native art is getting out there because we are supporting Indigenous creators, Indigenous artists. And that's what we want to do. We want to create partnerships so that way more students can know that we are there for them and that they can see that this is something they can also do. And yeah, and all of this gives back to Native students. And so it actually serves as a recruitment tool for us. We get to have fun and we get to recruit at the same time. And we actually have been seeing results from that because a lot of students, some of our students who had attended the camp have now applied to the college. And so they're going to start coming in. And so that's really awesome. And it feels really awesome to feel like I'm providing experiences, and literally that's all I do is provide experiences, and they, you know, whether they had a good experience or not, they accept it, and then they take that and they see that there's a path for them, and they see that there's support for them once they get here. And so since we are a community college, once they finish up with their associate's degree, we can send them onto the workforce and help get them connected in the community if they're wanting to just go out and work, or we can help them transfer to another institution, wherever it may be, and get connected with, you know, more Native scholarships and more connections with those programs and their organizations. And so I really want to say that we're working on creating a pipeline that supports Native students and helps them get to where they want to go.
Yeah, almost makes me want to come back, girl. Like,
okay, you can.
It sounds fun, girl. It sounds like I want to do it all. Just sign me up for everything. I also want to let the guests know that are here with us currently. If there's any questions that y'all want to ask her at any time, go ahead and post it down there. We'll get it to her. And then if you want to wait till the end, we could do that also. But yeah, I just want to open that up for our guests to open it for a Q&A. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and move on to your Indigenous Milk Medicine Collective. So how did that come about? I know you were saying you had just graduated and baby number one was on the way. So was there something that happened along the way that made you want to start this, or?
Okay, so it does stem from then. So when I was pregnant, and then I had baby baby number one, Carmen, and I had her in November 2014. And so during that time, I was friends with Jasha, who's a
Yeah.
poetry, and she came to me with the idea because she saw, we'd done some work together in like, or we passed in circles in some kind of way. And so she saw that I was like, I breastfed. And so she is very passionate about Indigenous birth work and breastfeeding in general. And so she approached me with the idea of wanting to create like a support system. And so I was all on board. And so at first, I don't think we got it lifted off for like Oklahoma specifically to create a coalition. And so she was like, since I'm not getting much feedback and much traction on it, like I'm about to take this on the road. So she ended up like expanding that idea to be even bigger. And so this is how it was originally called Native Breastfeeding Week. And so she kind of like helped recruit other Indigenous lactation specialists and supporters, people out there in the world, like who are doing this kind of work and who are just as passionate about it. And so she kind of like pulled us all together, and she hit me up and was just like, hey, I'm creating something even bigger than what we had like originally thought of. And so would you like to be a part of it? I was like, yeah. So I joined. So that was when we first started. But I give credit to Jasha because she is the founder of Native Breastfeeding Week. And then once we got our collective together, we ended up changing our name officially to be inclusive of what we kind of do and what our mission is. And that's the Indigenous Milk Medicine Collective. And so we are a collective of, we're about 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 of us almost, I think, who are just as passionate about breast and chest feeding and providing space and intentional mission to decolonize it and to uplift milk journeys. And so that's kind of how that started, like from my perspective and how that happened. But yeah, just a little bit more about Indigenous medicine, or Milk Medicine Collective and Week. So we're a grassroots organization of Native women, Two-Spirit, femme lactation providers, lactivists, and supporters. We work to increase the resources for Native first foods experiences and promote healing, wellness, and push for access, opportunity, visibility, equity, and Indigenous milk experiences. And so we host a week every week. We host a week annually in August, and that's National Breastfeeding Awareness Month. And so within that, it's usually around the second week. And so that's where we highlight the Indigenous Milk Medicine Week, and we host many virtual events, since all of our collective members are literally from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. And so we all are different time zones. And so we all, which I think is so like fascinating, that we get together like intentionally and create this week and these experiences for other people who are wanting to support these journeys, and for our, Native mamas out there and caregivers and providers. And so, but yeah, so we're also really intentional on wanting to decolonize feeding practices. And so we want to uphold that food sovereignty and traditional kinship practices and healing for the next generation. And so that's just the kind of work that we do within an Indigenous Milk Medicine Week and as a collective. And so that's what I also do in my spare time. So while being mama and working higher ed.
Would you also like to explain what a lactivist is?
Yes. So really cool. So lactation, if you can think about this, lactation, someone who's producing milk for another, and then you add in activism, which is action, and you want to create social change, and you put that together, you get lactivist or lactivism. And so for me, I would say that, and that's just how I kind of understand it and to be, but I just also see it as an act of just supporting caregivers and mothers who wish to, breast and chest feed their babies. And so whatever we can do to support that mission, whether that's providing information, resources, just overall support. If we need to create more change, another part of that activism part is where mamas have been told that they can't breastfeed here because it's inappropriate, which is crazy because baby is eating just like anybody else would eat. And so a lot of that has to do with helping to create the change and normalize breast and chest feeding so that everyone can, go about their business while baby eats. But we just need to normalize it. And again, that stems from that we need to decolonize those feeding practices because, it was such a natural thing, and the best thing for baby is what it was thought to be, like growing up, like from like very beginnings of generations, like we breastfed our babies. And so through colonization, they taught that to be bad, and not a good thing, and you should be shamed, or you should cover up, or we shouldn't see that. And so those are the things that we're trying to tear down, and again, to normalize that we can go back to those traditional ways and we can heal from that pain and that trauma, because a lot of things that we've learned from having just different support groups was learning that they didn't have anybody in their family to show them like how to breastfeed, or like how to go about doing that. They didn't have the support, so they just chose to do a different way, and which is completely fine. A fed baby is a fed baby, but there were people who were really, kind of bummed about like, well, I didn't breastfeed because I didn't know much about it, or I didn't know, or that wasn't like a thing in my family. And so, and then we have people who come and say like, it wasn't a thing in my family, but I made sure that I wanted this way and I'm going for it, Yeah. And so regardless of whatever it is, we try to just support everyone wherever they are in their journey. And so I would say that all of that is kind of wrapped up within lactivism and lactivist. So anybody can really be one. You don't really have to even be lactating for any of that. Yeah. As long as you're supporting the mission that we want to see change, social change, positive change, and that it uplifts and supports those mamas out there trying to nurse or caregiver.
A stigma that happened like recently, I saw some lactivists, I guess not knowing that they were, when we had the shortage of the formulas, I really saw moms come together that were breastfeeding and people were running out of formula, and the people that could provide extra were providing it. And so I thought that was like an awesome, awesome deal. And that was not just with the indigenous group. It just was everyone together, all the mamas coming together and just helping each other. I mean, people were willing to pay like outrageous amounts for this milk, but the mamas were like, no, like this is for your baby. You need it just like we do. It's fine. And so it was not costing them nothing. So it was really good to see that. So does your organization help with stuff like that too? Like if there was ever another shortage, like does the moms come together and it's like, hey, can we put like a pantry together or anything like that?
So that was something that we did talk about. We wanted to create some type of network or support system where we can connect, like wherever you are, where that you were having that crisis, that we can connect them with a like a human milk bank, or just another mom who's willing to provide extra milk, And so we connected a few people, but we didn't do it on like a large scale. It was kind of like somebody reached out and you're like, oh, okay, let's get you connected to, such and such in your area and that kind of thing. Since we are in different parts of, Turtle Island and everything. So that's really helpful. Yes. And didn't know, we would just contact somebody that we thought who would know, and then we still got them connected that way. And so I really think since that's I can't believe that's even a thing about the shortage of thing, like the formula. But um, if we were to have a spike in that situation again, I'm hoping that, you know, that's something we can probably take on a little bit, like on a larger scale if possible. We probably need a little bit more support, but you know, it is an idea that we do have and we want to do, you know, in a way that we want to support mamas and help them get connected, because at the end of the day, it's all about the babies and getting fed and nourished, you know. And so I'm even like, not to plug in my own situation, but like I had an experience where my sister was lactating and she had milk and she had leftover milk, and so we were both lactating at the same time, and I happened to like dip in my supply, and so my sister without any hesitation was like, "Here, girl, here's some milk, you know, help my niece," you know. So I know people kind of are weirded out by that, you know, taking other people's milk. And I'm like, again, that goes back to, we need to decolonize these things, these mindsets, these perspectives that somebody else put on us, like that shame. And so, yeah, without a doubt, like my sister was there when I was in need, and I'm just really appreciative of that and thankful. And I would do that for anybody as well. So if anybody was like, hey, I'm needing milk, and if I had, you know, that storage, or if I could produce, you know, more, then I would definitely do that. So
Awesome, awesome. Well, to get off subject and not be so serious, let's talk about some Indian foods and like what's something that you like to do for fun?
okay, so for fun, I like true crime. I know it's crazy, but I just like story. I don't know, it's really
Yeah.
actually tragic. It's like these bad things happen, but I'm getting like a story time out of it. I don't know. But I mean, but it's not that. It's like the investigative part. Like, I'm like, who did it? You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to like put on my investigator hat and be like, okay, I know who did it. Like, it was,
Yeah.
no, I don't know. My mind is weird, but
I would much rather watch those than like a soap opera though, or like CSI or anything like that. I feel you, girl.
they're messy sometimes. And
Yeah,
I,
very messy, but it's just like the suspense. I'm here for it.
yeah.
Let me know.
So I like true crime. Like, I listen to podcasts and that kind of thing. Again, I'm just being mom, like run around, chase my kiddos. That's fun. I also sew, and so I make like ribbon skirts and do that. So,
I love me some ribbon skirt. I love to stomp dance, so I love me a good ribbon
okay,
skirt all the time. So,
yes. Let me know you want one. I got
girl, anytime, any color, just
okay.
yes, just something to fit over my shells. We're good. Not all the way down though.
I
Not
hear
a
you.
you,
Oh,
not a Euchee skirt, girl. Just kidding.
I got you.
Do you
Yeah.
belong to? Do you belong to a stomp ground?
I do. I'm a member of the Polecat Ceremonial Ground, and that's in Kelly.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Y'all just finished y'all's green corn, if I believe right.
We finished in July, so yeah, yeah, all back to back to back, all right.
And y'all danced three weeks, I believe, right?
Yes, back to back. We have Arbor dance, we have green corn, and we have soup dance, and so that's how we close it out. And then we have 4 dances before that, so it's like,
Whew.
but it's all good.
Everybody's cleansed afterwards, honey.
Yeah, and purified. Oh, so yeah. And you said food, and I got hungry.
Girl, what is your favorite native dish?
Okay, so I love chestfeeding, which is like blue bread. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite. And I don't know how in the world that became my favorite, but it's always been since I was a kid. Softy and grape dumplings. And of course, but those are my
I,
staples that I love. And corn soup. Okay, maybe I'm just all hungry. But yeah, all of that.
I know an old drag queen that went by the name Jenna Haga. I don't know how she got that name, but
Yes. So yeah, that's
so
good.
what is in the dreamscape that you have to manifest?
So manifestations. I would say, listen, again, it goes back to my identity, and I don't know, I find so much identity in being mama. So like I just want to be a really good mama. Like I want to I think about the future, and even though I'm teaching my kids, I also care about carrying on traditions. And so like when I look at my kids, I'm not just looking at them, I'm looking at their kids and their kids, and so what am I doing to instill like love, affection, a safe and stable environment, a connection to their cultural practices, their traditions, their customs. What am I telling my kids so that they will remember and then continue to pass that on to their little ones one day. And so that's something I just really wish to manifest, is to keep it going. I also want to keep just manifesting good health. Because again, I just believe in like wanting to heal from maybe, past traumas that maybe weren't even a part of like my generation, but like traumas from way before, but it's still affecting my generation and beyond. And so I'm trying to manifest like creating like a good positive change in the world. And even if it's a small little area that I'm affecting change, but I feel like I need to give back. I have that desire to help people and want to give back. And even if it's small, it's impacting somebody, and maybe they might tell about it, or maybe they might be inspired to go and do something like similar or even bigger. And so I'm manifesting that. And then just overall, I just want to manifest that, like, again, we all lift each other up. We all carry on our traditions. Um, and yeah. So that's what.
Girl. And by far, you are not even on the small scale. Like, you are doing great things. Like, I've heard some great things about you, and I was like, I cannot wait to interview her and go through this. I was like, she is doing wonderful. Um, with that, is there anything we could do to uplift your work? Is there anything you want to plug? Is there anywhere we can contact or help or send mothers your way to help others?
Yes. So one thing the IP3 action could do would be to, if there's anybody who's needing support, whether that's in the Indigenous birth world, who looking for doulas, who are looking for just lactation support, just some connection and resources, or if they have any ideas for Indigenous Milk Medicine Week, because we're about to debrief, actually. We're about to debrief since we had it just this past August. We had our week August 8th through the 14th, and we had many, many events. So we're actually about to meet as a collective and talk about what went great, what went, what can we improve on. And so right now is a really good time that if anybody did participate, or if they didn't participate, like, how can we reach them? If they didn't know about it before, like, how can we reach them? Like, if we can have any kind of feedback that we can, like, the more the merrier. That way we can continue to expand. And then I would say if you could just let them know and plug in our information that we are the Indigenous Milk Medicine Collective. We have an Instagram page. We have a Facebook page. And we also have a website now. So we're actually out here trying to do big things. So let me give you that handle really fast, because I totally wrote it down, because, I'm great, but listen, some other people are more organized. Okay, so our actual website, to see more information about our Indigenous Milk Medicine Collective and week and anything that we have planning coming up, is www.indigenousmilkmedicinecollective.org. Boom, that's simple. And then we are on Facebook, and that's under Indigenous Milk Medicine Week. And then we also have Instagram, and that's Indigenous Milk Medicine Week as well. Super simple. We keep it, that easy for people to find us and follow us. But the more people that follow us, the more ways that we can get our content out there and reach other people and just be there as support. You know what I mean? You don't even we have people chime in to our week, who, were just a caregiver or was auntie, or they just wanted to support just because they wanted to support the mission. And so, like, you don't have to be breastfeeding or chest feeding or even have a baby to join, you know, like you can, it's really inclusive and really like accepting of everyone to, you know, get that information and get that support and just a space, an intentional for healing. And so another thing, we are always looking for sponsorship. We are always looking for sponsors. Listen, this is, like I said, a grassroots effort. And yes, we are grassroots. So we just need some help, you know, kind of getting off the ground and be able, the more like grants that we can find that we can apply to, or the more sponsors that we can find who are willing to support the mission, the more that we can get ourselves out there and even more visibility, like have more visibility, but also bring even greater content and provide more, just more resources or more speakers and that kind of thing. And so anything helps, honestly. And so that's what I would say, that if you could just plug us in and mention us, uh, we will definitely give you credit, and we appreciate all the support we can get. And so we're really, really looking forward to the next Indigenous Milk Medicine Week that we will be having next August. But until then, we will still continue to try and still put out information that's still supportive, as always, you know, for those who are needing it. So yeah.
And is there anything to plug in with Rose State with the Native organizations or anything?
I would say that if you're interested in going back to college and you don't know like where to go or how to get started, or I have some credits and I don't know if they apply, I don't know if they exist anymore, just let me know. It don't even matter. It doesn't even have to be Rose State. Just let me know, and I'd love to be a part of your academic journey, whether that's getting you plugged into the institution that you want to get plugged into. If it happens to be Rose State, that's a bonus for me, because I would love to have you at Rose State, and we would love to, you know, either you join like and do your classes online, and go to school that way, or you know, you come to campus and you get the full experience. But you can always see me at the Diversity Center, get plugged in with any of our diverse organizations that we have on campus. Since we have like probably a different wide variety of audience, we have a Black Student Association, Hispanic Student Association, American Indian Student Association. We're always looking for help with connecting with Native artists, content creators. We have events that we want to plan, but we just want to be able to tap the right people who can help come out and, you know, provide presentations for students, or if they want to share their like art with us and teach classes. Like we had a beading class once, you know, like we've had a painting class, Indigenous painting. Like we've had all kinds of like different artists that we've kind of featured throughout this time. But like we are always looking for more. So if you're you know, you're an artist out there, or content creator, or just any kind of Indigenous business, we want to support you, and we would hope that you support us, as well as just students at Rose State College and the American Indian Association. So, but yeah, I would say that, yeah, that's all. I guess that's all I got for you today. But if any help at all, I'm your girl, and I can definitely get you connected. So,
And hit her up for some ribbon skirts, ribbon
okay,
shirts,
listen,
aprons, everything.
yes, yes, yes. If you need any of that, I got you.
I'm gonna hit you up, girl. And you let me know if there's a sound dance going on there too. I'm there.
Okay,
So.
listen, let me go ahead and plug this. We just met as a collective. No, let me plug it. So we got some awesome events. Like I said, our AIA group is on fire, and they are small right now but mighty. Okay, they got big grand plans. So they have a full lineup of the different events that they want to have for this upcoming Native American Heritage Month in November. And so we're going to actually be planning something for Indigenous Peoples Day, which we're hoping to have an MMIP panel, and that's Missing Murdered Indigenous Peoples panel. One of our students is really connected to one of the founders of the organization in her area. And so she's going to be coming with a panel and speaking about that very, very important topic. And so that's going to be coming up soon, and that's going to be in October. More information will be on my page, but we're going to have that in October. We're also planning a stop dance. So Rose State will be having, we are looking at October 8th And so that's a Saturday. It's right before Indigenous Peoples Day. And so we are going to be having that on campus. And so more information again will be coming out. Other events for Native American Heritage Month we're having a kickoff we're having a powwow and stomp dance exhibition. So just showcasing what those dance styles are and giving an explanation about the cultural and spiritual and significance of those dances. And so that's coming up as well. We're having a TP on campus. So we're going to have a sunrise ceremony. That's going to be happening on campus. Let's see, they have the Hunt for Red Pedagogy. And so that's going to be with Dr. Cornell Peerwardy. And so he's going to be talking about how like we are needed in, in literature, and we should be forgotten. And there's so many things that we've done to contribute to the world. And sometimes it's really hard to find it. So, because people bury it, but that's another time for another. But so those are some of the things we have lined up. We also have an Indigenous, I think they're doing an Indigenous film and media or representation, Indigenous representation in film and media event where they're going to have panel of different actors, actresses, anybody who's kind of working in that film world as well, come and speak and share about their experiences and what it's like to, be an Indigenous creator, an Indigenous performer or actor. And so we just got a lot of things lined up, and I'm just really proud of the group. I'm happy to support them as an advisor. And so if anybody wants to come out to any of our events, they're free. And again, we're located in Midwest City, Oklahoma. And so that's just right in the middle of Oklahoma City. And so, yeah, more information will be coming out on our Rose State Diversity Center page. So if you also follow us there, you can get all the information about all of our upcoming diversity events. And then my page as well. I know I didn't put that out there because I got to work on having a professional name for my IG. It's Baby Reptar, and it's a story. I created it thinking like no one's gonna ever have this, and I just love the Rugrats, and so I don't know. In my world that I created it, I didn't really think I was gonna carry it on to this day, and so I work on getting like one. That's another day,
Yeah.
Manifest that, okay? And so if you follow me as Courtney Peyketewa on Facebook, I'm there. So all of the great content is going to be there on our pages. And so, yeah, I just want to take time to thank you, Sage, for allowing me to be here in this space and to, be a part of, Skoden talks on IP3 Action and IG. And so while I was very nervous and you didn't know it, but I'm glad I had this opportunity to be on here and just share about the work I'm doing. Whether that's in my professional life or even in my activism life. I'm just really happy to be here, and I thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, we love having you. You didn't shed a sweat bead or nothing, girl. You were fine.
Why is that on me?
It's all good. Did great, darling. Okay, well, once again, guys, be sure you follow IP3 on Instagram or follow me, Sage Chanel. Follow Courtney also. Sure. We will see you next time for Skoden Talks with the Homies. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Listen to me.